What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be showcasing all the locations of the bosses here in the Unnamed City. So we go over here because I'm going to be showing the first one here. And so if we go turn this corner, you'll see the very first boss, which is a one-handed star metal sword skeleton, which it has 3 skulls. So all the bosses here in the Unnamed City do have 3 skulls. So if we open the map right here, it is 6D. And so now I'm going to be fast forwarding it to the next boss. So all of you could follow where I go when looking for these bosses here in the Unnamed City. Here is the next boss, which has 3 skulls, but this one does have quite a bit of reach and can lunge at you. So if you're grinding for bosses, then I highly recommend a tier 4 thrall. So let's go to the next boss. Here's the next boss, which is a giant red dragon, and if you go right here, you will gain corruption. As you can see right there, I'm gaining corruption as we speak. So you want to make sure to go all the way up here to these stairs. Make sure you bring a bow and arrow, and then from here you could go and shoot the red dragon and it will follow you. Now let's go to the next boss. Here's the next boss, which is a green dragon, not as big as the red one over there, but this one's still pretty powerful, but you don't gain corruption when you get super close. And this dragon does have little miniature dragons right here, which if you lock onto them, they all have 1 skull. So I do suggest to defeat these miniature dragons first before fighting this big green dragon. So let's go to the next boss. Here is the next boss, which is a giant snake, and if you lock onto it, it has 3 skulls. But this one right here will give you poison, and you can see up there I'm also gaining corruption. I have no tips how to fight this boss, so be very careful when you fight this one. So let's move on to the next boss. This one is a bat boss, which is pretty big, and if you look onto this one, it's 3 skulls. But right here, you will gain corruption. But you're probably wondering, what is this right here? Well, it's just reading basically the lore of the game. So to fight this boss, I suggest to run all the way over here until you no longer get corruption. But which point where you don't get corruption anymore is, well, if you reach right here close to this dead tree. And then from here, you could try to snipe it with a bow and arrow, and it will actually come towards you. But if it doesn't, then you're gonna have to get a little bit closer and then try to snipe it with the bow and arrow again. So let's go to the next boss. Here is another boss, and this one has a 2-handed star metal sword. But this one does have a lot of skeletons right here on each side. So how do you fight this boss is you try to lure one of the skeletons far enough. Sometimes even if you go, like, let's say snipe one skeleton from here or a little bit farther away, more than one will follow you. But you should try to fight 1 or 2, no more than 3 of these skeletons. So that way you don't have to fight all those skeletons plus the boss at the same time. So let's go to the final boss. Here is this one, which is a red dragon, and it's located right here, what you could say either the exit or the beginning of the Unnamed city. As you can see, it's just roaming around here. And so to find this dragon here, if we open up the map, it is right here on 7E. This is where you find this boss right here, and so that is all the bosses here in the Unnamed city. I am not going to count the 1 skull bosses because yes, they are bosses, but I'm more talking about the 3 skull bosses. But anyways guys, that's going to be all for today. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, also turn on notifications so you can get notified on new videos here on this channel. So anyways, peace.